see, what I love about A Christmas Carol, aside from the fact that it's a beautiful tale, is that it's also a ghost story. Yeah. For you see, Jacob Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clerk, the clergyman, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Why, Scrooge signed it. And Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything that he chose to put his hand to. Jacob Marley was as dead as a doornail. And this must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can ever come of the story that I'm going to relate. And so, let our narrative begin, as all good stories do, once upon a time, of all the most wonderful nights of the year, Christmas Eve. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. Ah! Look at those fools celebrating their Merry Christmas. Come back! It's Christmas time to you, but a time for paying bills without money, A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I had my way, every fool who went about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. Away with your Merry Christmas. I'm back. Oh, he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, retching, clasping, covetous old sinner. No warmth could warm him, no wintry weather could chill him. No one ever stopped him in the street to say, "My dear Scrooge, how are you today? When will you come see me?" No beggars ever asked him to bestow a trifle. But what did Scrooge care? He had his money, he had his counting house, he had his meager lodgings, and he had a clerk by the name of Bob Cratchit, who would work for less than 15 shillings per week. And this was all that he needed or wanted for that matter. At long last, the hour of shutting up the counting house was at hand. And with that, both Scrooge and Cratchit left for the evening, and Scrooge took his usual melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and having read all the newspapers, went home to bed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fact that Scrooge had not bestowed one thought upon Jacob Marley, his 7 years dead partner, in many a forgotten month. Then let any man explain to me, if he can, how it happened that Scrooge, upon retiring to his chambers to prepare for bed, heard the most terrible of sounds, and felt emotions of the most terrifying dread, as a ghastly chain figure arose from the bowels of hell and clambered its way into his parlor. Ebenezer Scrooge! It spoke. In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You do not believe in me. Why do you doubt your senses? Man of the worldly mind, it is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and travel wide. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander this world and witness what it cannot share, but might have shared and turned to happiness. I wear the chain that I forged in life. I made it link by link, and yard by yard I girded it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil that you bear yourself? It was as full and as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago, and you have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain. I've no comfort to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer, and is delivered by other ministers to other types of men. A very little more is all permitted to me. You see, I cannot rest. I cannot stay anywhere. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me. 7 years dead, and traveling the whole time. No rest, no peace. Incessant torture of remorse, mark me. My time is almost through. I'm here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. A chance and hope of my procuring Ebenezer. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bells toll 1. Expect the second, when the bells toll 2. The third will find you in due course. Look to see me no more.
What?
And look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us. 7 years dead, traveling the whole time. No rest, no peace, only remorse. The steeple clock in the distance told 1. The hour itself was at hand, and the room suddenly erupted with a bright light, and the curtains of Scrooge's bed were drawn aside as if by invisible hands, I tell you, my friends. And Scrooge just stared in silence as a strange figure with a childlike face, draped in an almost luminescent fabric, appeared before his eyes. It spoke to him. I am the ghost of Christmas past, Ebenezer. Rise and walk with me, as I am here to redeem you, and have been allowed very little time. Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be enlightened to more than this. Scrooge apprehensively complied, and joined the spirit in the middle of his chamber. And the ghost took Scrooge by the hand, and off they travelled out into the night, into the past. Through the walls of Scrooge's lodgings and deep into the foggy mists of London they travelled, through the cosmos and through the years towards a bright light, a warm light which enveloped Scrooge and reminded him of fond days long since forgotten. Through many years we have travelled, Ebenezer, and you are a much younger man. Look, though, and see how your face begins to show the signs of avarice. There is a greedy, restless motion in your eyes. In the house before us, there sits before you a young lady, a very beautiful girl, Belle, the woman that you are going to marry. Hearken and listen to what she says to you. These are the shadows of your past. It matters very little to you, Ebenezer, she spoke. Another idol has displaced me. A golden one. You hold money more important than me, or anything else for that matter, and I'm going to grant you your wish. Free you from marrying me. That is what you desire, Ebenezer. Today, I'm a happy woman surrounded by my fine children, and those children might have been yours if you weren't so selfish. I feel sorry for you. And then, as suddenly as it had all begun, all went silent about him. He was in his own bedroom, and Scrooge sank back into a heavy sleep. Soon, the bells were tolled too, and Scrooge could only but dream with fear and trepidation what would await when the second of the spirits would call for him. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. It was his own room, there was no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, and such a mighty blaze when roaring up the fireplaces had never been known in Scrooge's time. Heaped up on the floor to form a sort of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam, a sumptuous buffet. And in easy state, my friends, upon this couch there sat a giant, a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch and held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping around the door. He said, "Come in and know me better, little man. Have you never seen the likes of me before? Why, I have over 1,800 brothers, one for each Christmas since the very first. I trust that you will profit by our journey, Ebenezer. Touch my robe. We have very little time, and there is a place that we must visit. It is a very poor house in a very poor section of London." And indeed, the home that he brought him to was a meager dwelling. The curtains were torn and the roof leaked, but ladies and gentlemen, it was a home nonetheless, and the dwellers of it emulated great warmth and made it a comfortable one. Scrooge inquired as to who could reside in such a place as this, to which the spirit replied, "An underpaid clerk by the name of Bob Cratchit, the very same man employed by you, Ebenezer. And that woman and those 4 children, his wife and family. Observe, Scrooge, for here comes Cratchit now. He carries with him up the stairs his 5th child, Tiny Tim." "Spirit, that child carries a crutch." "Well, because he is crippled. Cratchit cannot afford a doctor, not on 15 shillings a week. But observe them, Scrooge, for as poor as they are, they make merry." And Scrooge observed as the Cratchit family gathered around their Christmas tree and paid it homage. Scrooge became sullen. "Tell me, Spirit, will Tiny Tim live?" "I see a vacant seat at the table, and a crutch in the chimney corner without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die. But why concern yourself with him, Ebenezer Scrooge? Are there no prisons? And the workhouses, are they not still in operation? Come, it is time for us to go," he pleaded. But Scrooge shortly found himself alone outside his lodgings. A heavy snow was falling, blanketing a sleeping London. The wind had died down, and it was still early Christmas morning. The steeple bell tolled 3, and the phantom slowly, gravely, silently approached. When it came, it seemed to scatter gloom and mystery. It was shrouded in a deep black garment which concealed its head, its face, its form, and left nothing of it visible save one outstretched hand, and its mysterious presence filled Scrooge with a solemn dread. "I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come." The phantom nodded. "You are about to show me the shadows of the things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that not so, Spirit?" Again it nodded. "O ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know that your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear your company. Lead on, Spirit. The night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me, I know. Lead on, Spirit, lead on!" Scrooge followed the grim spectre through the foggy streets of London, dread in his heart. They stopped before a ramshackle building. "Why, I know this house, Spirit. Bob Cratchit, my clerk, lives here with his family. Why, that's him in the window now, and his good wife, and several of their children. But where is... Oh, no, Spirit. No. Tell me, Spirit, why did Tiny Tim have to die?" "Something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. Tell me, Spirit, in a future so sorrowful and bleak as that which you have shown me here tonight, what has become of me?" The phantom pointed through the mist towards an iron gate. A churchyard. Oh, my friends, it was a worthy place for the dead, the lost souls, the forgotten. Walled in and overrun by grass and by weeds, the spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one. Scrooge advanced towards it, trembling. "Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they the shadows of the things that may be?" Still, the ghost pointed downwards to the grave by which it stood. Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends, to which, if persevered in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the ends will change, Spirit. Say it is thus with what you show me here tonight. But still, the Spirit was as immovable as ever. Scrooge crept towards it, trembling as he went, and following the finger, read upon the stone of the neglected grave his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge. No, Spirit. Oh, Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I have been. Why show me this if I am beyond all hope? Oh, good Spirit, tell me that I may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honour Christmas in my heart, and I will try to keep it the whole year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three will strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they have taught me. Oh, Spirit, tell me that I may wipe away the writing on the stone. Oh, Spirit, tell me there is hope, that I may wipe away the writing on the stone. Oh, Spirit, oh, tell me there is hope, Spirit. Oh, tell me. Spirit, where am I? Sheets, bedposts, I'm in my own room. Light, there is light shining through the windows. Oh, oh, bells, I can hear morning bells. It must be Christmas Day. Oh, I don't know what to do. Oh, I'm trembling. I'm as giddy as a drunken sailor. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as tipsy as a drunken man. Oh, what to do? What to do? Oh, I'm going to give money to the poor and send the Cratchits a goose. I'm going to send them the biggest bloody goose in all of London. Oh, and presents. I'm going to send everyone presents and gooses too. Oh, I must control myself. I have to dress. You see, there's so much to do. Oh, I'm alive, and the world is such a wonderful place. Oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, and old Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, my friends, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. He had no further interactions with spirits, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. And may that truly be said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed Dickens' original masterpiece so many years ago, God bless us, everyone. Thank you.
Until he stepped on the stage for the first show on Friday. And I'm absolutely as charmed as I'm sure you are, and I hope we'll work many times together.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, where's the beer?